As a socially responsible stand-up comedian, I thought I'd start with some advice, and that is that the words you choose to use when you're presenting yourself are very important. I'll illustrate this with a simple example. If you describe yourself as a young violinist, you come across as youthful, wholesome and talented. These are qualities about yourself you want to project. If, however, to the same end you use the words kiddie fiddler. I'm going to talk a bit about perceptions in general. I think the greatest company in managing perceptions are McDonald's, because they routinely get away with the most bollocks advertising you've ever seen. They recently ended an ad with the new double cheeseburger, £1.49. You can't argue with that. I thought, well, no, it's beef. Even when it was a cow, I was struggling to have an aggressive discourse with it. But if someone implies they think their clientele so mentally unbalanced as to be used to arguing with their food, so they've been sitting at home, having a violent domestic with some dope and wild potatoes, and then that advert comes on, they're going, food you can't argue with, it's a fucking good idea. It's not actually much above that kind of random fact school of advertising, where you take a sort of value-neutral proposition about a product and say it loudly to make it good. I recently saw a product in a supermarket advertised as being 30% egg, which I can only suppose is better than 100% horse. Interestingly, lots of people like outrage about Findus lasagna being 100% horse. If you've been eating Findus lasagna, I'd be glad it was 100% horse. You've been eating that, you want to get yourself tested. That is not the worst thing in there. But yeah, so moving off that, I think the sort of the key thing about being perceived is your name. It's the first thing you project. And lots of people have Latin names these days. Now, I actually study Latin, so I have the misfortune to understand what they mean. I recently met a girl whose full first name was Talia. Now, for the uninitiated, Talia in Latin means such things, which is an interesting reaction to the birth of your child. I somewhat imagine sort of the midwife handing the baby over to the father going, it's a beautiful baby girl, and he goes, oh, such things, put it on the par with the others. I actually have a Latin name myself, Milo. First thing I always get, of course, is, oh Milo, like Milo from the Tweenies. Were you named after Milo from the Tweenies? And I always say, very perceptive of you. In 1993, 6 years before the Tweenies was first broadcast, my parents, being both very ahead of their time and, curiously, children, were massive Tweenies fans.